Everybody, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of Arm Talk. I'm your host, Jody Williams, and welcome back, Miss Courtney Huycke. Courtney, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing busy day. This will be my second of three podcast shows today, so very busy, very busy.
Very
But
busy. I didn't catch your earlier one. I'm gonna watch it later.
oh, good. It'll be on Ryan SB's channel, so we kind of touch base. There's a lot of arm wrestling over the weekend, tons of it. So we kind of crammed all that in a little bit over an hour if we could. But that's that. This is about you. This is the women's division, part one, because part two later on tonight, I got Miss Katie Owens on there. We'll talk about what she got going on. But first things first, Mac, number 4. Okay.
Five.
You had that one. Was it 5 or 4?
Five.
5? Thank you for the correction. 2 matches. Now, normally when I ask questions like this, I always got to ask the athlete, do you think there's any kind of significance in pulling one match or two, even though they're on opposite hands? Let me ask you that first before we go any forward.
Yes, I do. I think so. I felt good going into it. Like day of, I was super nervous, but after my match with Nadia, having that second match with Tina, like my mind was already, okay, the belt match is the priority. Going to do my best there. And if my left doesn't do as great because of my central nervous system, I'm okay with that. Like you have to be in that mindset that, hey, you could not do well.
Right.
However, I did my match and I went back and locked myself in a green room again to be alone.
Smart.
People were congratulating me and I gave them like a quick wave, like, thank you, and went on my way to like lock myself away. I spoke to Danielle right after. And she said, take it from me, basically like the match where the day that I had beaten her, she's like, take it from me, like, don't go out and socialize, like, just be on your own. And I'm like, that's what I'm doing. I'm on my own. So I think that makes a huge difference. But performance-wise, I don't feel like it affected me because of those steps.
Okay. And before we go any further, if you're going to be on my show, okay, you want to tell me what's on the left side of your shoulder over there? What's over your left side of the shoulder?
Big middleweight belt.
Yes. So tell everybody out there what belt that is. What does it represent? What does it mean to you?
Oh my gosh. The female division of MAC has not been represented or given a belt yet. So that was super exciting to be a huge part of that. And I'm super excited for where the female division will go with MAC. Because like this is just the low end of the totem pole in that sense, like not our caliber, but in terms of like this is just the beginning for them. So hopefully there's going to be lightweights, and hopefully, like, obviously Ashley was able to secure a heavyweight belt as well, or a upper weight belt. And so to be a middleweight champion, like, come on, I have to be proud of myself. Like I
have is a challenge coin. That's all I got. You got the belt that goes around, because when you go through an airport, although you probably drove to the event, but when you go to the airport, and you have that thing with you, people are kind of going, what's going on there? People will stop and look. Can you imagine going through security with that thing and what you got there? Oh, yes, arm wrestling, I'm the champ, and you're going to get that. That's pretty cool. So
you know what? Like, even not to cut you off, but even like the event was in a casino resort. So even to walk through the casino with my belt, like people were still stopping me like, oh my God, congratulations. Like I had a MAC shirt on and people were like, are you competing? Like, and it wasn't even the event yet. And they're like, we don't know who we're going to cheer for, but we think it's super cool. So I'm like, come cheer for me. So like random people in the casino were coming to the event. So like, I thought that was pretty cool. And it was weird to be acknowledged like that. And, my students immediately, when I got back to work on the Monday, they didn't want to work. They were like, we need to see those matches. Like, where you need to show us.
You brought the belt to school, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And the rings. Yep.
So here is Courtney. Class, show and tell today. We're not having a school today. We're going to do show and tell. It's story time. So, you think about that, but I want you to you've heard it from other people too, but where you are right now, you should probably get used to that. Okay.
It's weird.
Get used to it. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird for like my best friends, even like that I've known my whole life, to be like, wow, I should really get your autograph now.
See?
Or you know what? I was really humbled. And I try to be as humble as possible. Like my stage presence is a whole alter ego to get into that mindset. But we had a young kid had reached out to Mac a couple days before the event, teenager, not even still in high school, maybe like 15, not even.
Right.
And he was running the sparkler system, and he was super excited. Like he had reached out and said, can I come to the press conference? I live there. I just want to meet some people. Like, I just want to meet some athletes like Coach Ray. And he wanted to meet Alex and some people. And so they were able to get him in. And one person had said, hey, do you want to come help at the event? And so he obviously asked his parents and jumped on the situation. And it was so surreal to me. Once I won my match against Nadia, he's running the sparkler system. I'm going up on stage, like to go backstage again. And he's like, hey, do you mind taking a selfie on my Snapchat with me? And it was so weird. But I was like, absolutely. Like that's the real deal. And I don't know. It was super exciting and new to me, but I'm going to have to get used to it.
I think, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but I'm guessing that the selfie pictures are taking place of the autographs, so to speak. So that's what it is now. We're taking selfies. How many selfies did you take once you won the belt? Or when the event was done?
A lot.
See? So,
and all my students, even like on the Monday, were like, can we flex with you? Like, we're going to flex in our Snapchats and like, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So this is an opportunity for you to really make it count. Okay. Now, with the championship belt comes tougher questions tougher matches and all that down the road. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Do you feel any kind of pressure, or do you feel any kind of that kind of stuff, knowing that, okay, now everyone's gunning for me now? What does that look like to you?
I felt that pressure prior to this. Given even when I beat Danielle, like I felt that pressure. Yeah. Even when my name was released on the card, I felt that pressure. So it's there. As soon as I won, there were people messaging me and people in the crowd saying, okay, we need you to go after this person, or you need to have a match with this person. And it was like, that's not on my radar. Right. Or that person's not on my radar. But, I mean, if someone wants to make it happen, it'll happen. But there's a lot more that goes into it behind the scenes that people aren't aware of. And so I do feel the pressure to hold the belt. But I'm super excited to defend it. Like, I don't want to be considered scary in a sense. Like, I want people to want to challenge me. Like, look at Sarah Wilson, for example. I love her. I love Ashley, both great human beings. And it took so long to get Sarah a match because no one would go up against her. Not the outcome she wanted. However, appreciate Ashley for taking that match, because all Sarah wants to do is pull, and all I want to do is pull. And if people are too scared to pull me, like, I don't want it to be like, oh, so-and-so is going to this event, or are you going to the event? Because if you are, then I don't want to pull, or I'm not going to go or waste my time. I don't want people to feel like that. Right. I want them to like, I'm in the sport. Like Coach Ray asked me, he's like, why did you get into arm wrestling? I love arm wrestling because it challenges me. When I see an opponent, yes, I challenge the opponent, but I challenge myself to work hard to be able to compete against them. It's not me beating someone. Yes, it is theoretically, but it's
Right.
me, and someone has to win or lose, right? That's the name of the game. But it's me challenging myself to make that happen. And obviously, if I lose, then I go back to the drawing table and it's on me. So I want people to realize and accept that, hey, this can be you too. You just have to work really hard.
Yes. And can I piggyback on your comment when you say, because we all know someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. Now, what I do want to elaborate is the fact that just because somebody loses doesn't mean they're garbage, doesn't mean they're trash or they're horrible. Doesn't mean that. It just means, like you said, you got to take a step back, go back to the lab, go, okay, watch that video over and over again and find out, okay, and you and I had this talk before on the last time you're on the show, and you sit back and go, okay, what did I do wrong? Foot play, start from the ground up. Foot placement, okay, hey, where's my elbow at? Is it forward? Is it backwards?
Yeah.
Am I creating side pressure, up pressure, down pressure, whatever? Are my shoulders where you need to be? All that. Am I getting screwed up with my hand like this instead of like that? I mean, just little stuff like that, we all break our own footage down, and we can be our own biggest critics sometimes, but it's a good thing to have. So knowing that, and you got a quest for 5 belts coming up. Woo, 5. Think about that. If you win these 5 belts coming up, and plus you have that MAC one, that'll be 6 belts, correct?
Oh no, sorry. This is number 5. So this is the first of 5. I have 4
okay.
that I'm going for. So 5 total, but this is number 1.
So what you should do, if you don't have already on your Instagram or maybe YouTube, and go just make a little documentary, The Quest for 5, and just see where it goes. Because right now you're like, the hottest thing since, apple pie right now. And we see the progress you got going on. So, we have a comment. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right. Nathan says, it may not be scared. People have goals in the sport. And sometimes, like you said, having a challenge doesn't line up. You agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So can I be completely honest when I say this? Is it okay to say this without stepping on your toes or anything else? Are you the face of the MAC women's division?
I don't know.
I guess that's for us to decide, right?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's up for the MAC team to decide. And, I'm more than happy to be that female leader. I'm really invested in females in the sport. So I'd be happy to take on any type of role to help be that female leader. But I mean, who knows? I don't know what the world brings me. So.
Because your other matches coming up on that quest for 5, are they underneath the MAC umbrella or no?
No, they're under the arm melter.
Okay, cool. Now,
like a regular WAF style table.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, because now we're gonna go ahead and pivot to that what you just said. So here's the pivot right here. Arm melter. Okay. Regular WAF table, correct?
Correct.
All right. So question number 1 when it comes to that. Looking back now, when you had your match with, and we'll just use Nadia for example. By chance, if you were to run that match back on a regular standard WAF table, 7x7 elbow pad, do you think the outcome would still be the same? Here's hard question number 1.
I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe so. Yes, I'm used to being on a MAC table, 1000%. Like, I can't deny that. However, I'm also, when I train at practice, I don't train on a MAC table. I train on a WAF style table. That's how I learned. That's how I move. MAC rules, you can have your shoulder at 11 o'clock. Did I? Sure. But I don't have to. Like, I can, know what? I'm the number 1 contender at the arm melter. I'm the number 1 ranked female at the arm melter because I placed first on that table, right? So I'm used to those rules. Do I love a set grip? Absolutely. Mainly because not that I can't get a grip. It's just, I like a set grip because it makes it more fair, in my opinion.
Right.
Am I good at it? I don't know. I'm so modest that I have no idea.
It's okay. You know,
But like I feel like the outcome still would have been the same. I feel like Nadia, like, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, but and her hook is strong. Don't get me wrong. Mine was just stronger. And that's her lane, but
Mhm.
that's my lane too. So I think when it comes to rankings, I don't think Nadia underestimated me. I just think she was unsure what I would bring, given the fact that my ranking was number 7 in North America.
Right.
Because I haven't pulled those other women in between. Not that I haven't had like, they were like, I was supposed to pull Merlene and I was supposed to pull Leanne, and it just wasn't in the cards, and it didn't work out for them to be there. So Nadia was the next choice.
Right.
So it's not that I jumped levels. It's just that was the next one in line. And, it kind of worked out. And I think sometimes when people see a ranking, they underestimate you.
I think, and I could be overstepping my boundaries when I say this, but I think when you have an athlete who is ranked, some people have this misconception of, oh, they're like up here and they want to challenge that person. Let's just see how good you are up there, why I'm down here, that kind of thing, But, if anybody who saw it, 'cause I saw the press conference, and let me be the first to admit, I had you losing this match against Nadia, but I had you winning versus Alex. I'm sorry, versus Coach Ray's girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So I thought, hook for hook, you guys are, excuse me, you girls are strong, but I thought because Nadia's aggressiveness might have caught you off here just a little bit. But if you watch go back, everyone, and watch the press conference, Nadia felt very, very confident. And when the result was all said and done, it was like WOW, wow. Like, wow. That's all I can say. Yes, Tina, thank you, Phil. And speaking of Phil, he wants to know, do you have an Instagram account that you can share if you choose to do so?
It's very simple. It's just Huycke. So the same way my last name's spelled, with a C in front of it, and then that's my Instagram. So give me a follow. I'll follow you back.
I think Lucky's put that up on there too. Thank you, Lucky, for that. So now with all this, fame, and you're trying to find a way to manage that and stuff like that, and what you want to do, what do you have coming up next?
Coming up next, let me see. I think the arm melter will be next for me. And I've got a lot of people reaching out to me for more matches. I don't know what Mac has in store. I don't know where they're going. It's been kind of surreal. I'm just kind of enjoying my downtime and getting the blood flow back into my arms right now. I haven't even gone to practice yet, just doing a lot of blood flow because the onset muscle soreness has really set in. So,
yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, and it didn't happen until my matches were on Saturday, and I think maybe Thursday I started to feel it, and I was like, oh, because at the time I was like, oh, that was fairly easy. Like, I didn't feel it. I'm like, I could still pull more, but then, and I still did, like, after pulled, like, downstairs, like, Mayanne wanted to pull me, like, all these dudes wanted to be like, what the fuck? Like, girl, you strong. So, yeah, they just wanted to feel me because they knew how strong Nadia was. So, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think you've opened some eyes already, but then you open even more eyes, with your performance, at Mac 5. And I got to say, so when exactly is the arm melter?
January 10th.
Oh, you don't have that long then.
No, I don't. So that's what, like, I was supposed to take a match coming up this weekend. However, it just wasn't in the cards. Like, I had to be smart about it because I was that girl who was like taking everything. I just want to pull, get as much experience on the table as possible. I need those ready goes. I need to hear them. But now, like, I'm very particular in what I take. And especially and I want female pullers to be aware of this, or any athlete really, is that it's very different when you're not holding a belt. because a loss is a loss at this point. Yes, it's not like, I don't want to say that badly, because if I lose, I'm still happy to lose. Like, everyone loves winning, but I will learn from it and I can have that mindset. But all eyes are on me right now. And I need to be very particular about who I match up with, and will it challenge me? Will it not challenge me, type of thing. So really, I'm very selective on who I'm going to match up with right now.
And I got to put something out there because for some reason, Courtney Owens, who's watching, she'll be on the show after we get done. I have a show with her, but for some reason, she always has issues chiming in on the show. So she's like saying, hey, she's a big fan. So I'm just relaying that message to you as she texts me about that. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there. She's a big fan of yours.
That's awesome. I'm a huge fan of hers too. So
yes. And I want to piggyback on that comment too, because, you know, when you compete, I just want to compete. I want to see where I am. I want to compete against the best. However, once you get to a certain, you know, status, you really got to be smart about who you select as opponents. It ain't just like, I'll take anybody, because then it's like, okay, because we all know that, you know, any given Saturday or Sunday or Separation Saturday or whatever moniker you want to use, the one thing you don't want to lose is momentum, right? And because then all of a sudden, if you're ranked at a certain spot and you're like the MAC champion and you pull Alice in Wonderland and all of a sudden she happens to get a fluke win on you, then all of a sudden here comes the daggers and the questions like, okay, well then how good is Courtney if Alice in Wonderland or Snow White can beat, you know, that kind of stuff. So you really got to be, you know, smart about who you select as opponents. Now, when it comes to MAC, since we're on that topic, are you allowed to talk about how does that process go? Like, you know, because, for example, a good friend of mine, Jocelyn Bresson, you know, how they get matches going for East versus West. There's a certain criteria and how that thing works. For you, how does that work? I mean, do they call you up and go, hey, here's a list of people. Do you pick one? I mean, how does that work? Can you take us behind the scenes on that or no?
Yeah, I think so. I feel confident in talking about it. So originally, like, I didn't really see myself, and I think I spoke about it a little bit. I speak about it a lot. Like, I never saw myself in that light, didn't pride myself on my abilities and my strength and how far I've come in the sport in such a short time. And I think it was after my 2 provincial titles, MAC had their eye on me. And they had their eye on me after MAC 3 in March of this year, because I went undefeated in 2 weight classes and brought home golds, all 4 golds in the no elimination tournament that happened after MAC 3. And one of those wins happened to be on Bethany Ritchie. And, you know, so that was kind of like, oh, who's Courtney? So it kind of got their eyes opened a little bit, like, who's this girl? Like, where's she trained? Where's she from? So, you know, I had some conversations that day. And then fast forward a month later, and at a tournament, Ontario Centrals, not provincials, but Ontario Centrals, my first time ever pulling Ursula Askey, was able to beat her right-handed. So, and then obviously I'm posting this on social media. Someone gets a hold of it. You know, they hear about it. The MAC team hears about it. They're like, we need to follow this girl. So then fast forward 2 months after that, provincials comes. I win 2 provincial titles on my right hand. Left hand wasn't so hot that day, but that's okay. 2 provincial titles on my right hand in 2 different weight classes, in my middleweight class and then the upper weight class. And then they were like, okay, we need to get this girl on a card. So yeah, they called me, messaged me and said, hey, you know, we want to put you on a card. We don't know if it's going to be a prelim card or if it's going to be a main card event, but we're going to let you know, but just throwing the idea out there. And, you know, keep some ideas in mind of who you'd want to pull. You don't get the option, but, you know, we want to know what your feelings are and what your opinions are. So like as a female puller. So I
Right.
didn't know who, because I didn't know what caliber I was at or where my strengths were, because I just pull to pull.
Right.
And I wasn't sure at the time. It was my first provincials. I wasn't sure, what my lane was or anything. Now I'm more dialed in and focused. But then Danielle, they wanted Danielle, and they're like, sorry, it's not a prelim match. And I'm like, don't be sorry about that. Like, I'm ecstatic. Like, it's crazy. But they had no female prelim matches for me at the time, but Danielle was willing to take this match. So that's kind of how that happened. And then when I won against Danielle, they then approached me and said, we're going to come up with a list, but the choice is basically yours.
Okay.
And so they gave me a bunch of girls in my weight class, and Merlene's name came up first. I had no idea who she was, watched some videos. She's a beast. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take that match. I was scared as hell, but she's a beast. So then she couldn't make it. And I was like, I really want to challenge myself with Leanne. And then Leanne couldn't make it. And so then Nadia's name came up, and I was like, let's do this. I was so scared at the press conference. Like, I can talk a lot of talk. So I'm just like, I got this. I'm going to take this belt home. But I really wasn't sure. And especially, like, I don't let people get in my head. So that's
Right.
number one. Any athlete, you need to not let that happen. I watched the podcast with you and Nate and Tim, and I was just like, none of you had me. You all were like, no, it's not in my favor.
Hey, I don't mind eating crow as long as I got some barbecue sauce to go with that, so
Aussie arm wrestler, he was the same way. He's like, I'm so sorry, Courtney. He's like, but I don't know who you are. My money's on Nadia. That's fine. But some athletes will see that and they'll be like, oh, they'll take it to heart. And it's just like, I just had to like not let it affect me and go in as confident as I was.
Okay, but I did pick you over Tina, so let's not ignore that. Okay, come on now, let's not ignore that. All right, so but
yeah,
again,
and I mean, that was
for the belt.
Yeah, that was kind of like a last minute matchup, and she was a great sport. I feel bad because I yelled at her during our match because she wanted to work, and I was yelling work, work, work. But maybe probably shouldn't have done that because I felt bad. But it was kind of just in the moment, and you know what, we're friends, so
yes. It's hard,
it's hard to call your friend.
It's hard to control your emotions in the moment in a sport like ours, and when you take a step back in between rounds, you got to kind of calm your nerves, and whoever's your corner person will say, hey, that was good, but let's just kind of keep focused on, the task at hand and things like that. So,
you know what? And speaking of corner people, like, I could not have asked for a better corner. Like, I had, like, obviously my partner, Matt Oliver, in my corner, as always. I had Alan Hitman in my corner. You're only supposed to have two people in your corner, technically. But I mean, the VIP table was right there. Yeah. I had Alan Ford. I asked Jody Larrett to be in my corner, and she agreed. Right. She obviously didn't agree. Like, I said, not for Tina. Tina's match, it will just be Ray and Matt because that's fair. We're all friends. But Jody, can you be in my corner for Nadia? And she's like, absolutely, I'd be honored. So she was in my corner. I had John Milne in my corner. And Devin obviously was in my corner with Milo too as well. So, I mean, that was super, like, I had a stacked.
You had the whole province in your corner, basically, right?
Yeah, I had a stacked corner. So, I mean, I felt like that to me meant the world. And I didn't even realize that they were in I knew Jody and Matt and John were in my corner, but I didn't even realize the rest of them were in my corner until like the end. And I was like ready to just ball.
Right. Well, hey, I'm telling you right now, you might have a lot more people inbox you. Hey, can I be in your corner for your next match? Because right now you are on that rocket ship going up that way. And I'm telling you right now that it's worth it. And I also want to add the fact that, it's always good to I got this thing I used this year. And my phrase this year was show up and show out. So you show up, you showed out, because where we are in the sport now, there's always going to be someone watching. There's always going to be some promoter watching. There's always going to be somebody who's a friend of a promoter that's watching. I mean, whether you put it on, the matches are on YouTube, pay-per-view, face chat, or whatever, it's always going to be on there. And I'm telling you right now that you're all over. You're all over. Your kids love you. They don't even want to do school anymore because of what you did. So I'm telling you right now, you're there. You're there. And I can't say enough. Just go ahead, enjoy. But here's a question. With the arm melter, let's just say you win that title. That can only be defended at an arm melter event, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Now, is that an international thing? Can somebody from the U.S. cross the border and challenge you at an arm melter, or is it just for Canadians only?
That I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure that anyone could challenge. But I honestly am not entirely sure, but I don't see why they couldn't cross the border and come.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. I can find it, but
that'd be kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure that they can. Anyone can challenge. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
don't know.
honest question. I mean, I don't know how that works. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I know that my coach
only caught some of that. What'd you say?
Like, I know that my coach Joe runs it. Like, his promotion runs the arm melter, but I'm not sure like the ins and outs of how it's run or how it works or anything like that.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Did you catch any arm wrestling over the weekend? There was a lot going on.
I saw some of your matches. You're fast. You got some speed. You got some thunder there. That's for sure.
Not bad for an old guy.
And then I did watch the Kris Kringle.
What'd you think about the Kris Kringle match?
Aside from
matches. Yeah, aside from that, you know.
I don't know. There was like a lot of drama going on in the chat, so I thought it was funny. The matches, I was shocked about some of them, to be honest.
Okay.
I really thought like everyone showed up ready to fight, which I love. I thought that, gosh, who pulled the Savage?
You know what? I didn't even see the match. I was traveling home, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But John, he struggled. He struggled.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised at how much he struggled, but he looked a lot smaller than the other guy. But I don't know. I didn't obviously see their weigh-ins, but I was also shocked about how fast Auden was on the first round with Ray. Like obviously with social media, Dallas
Franklin, yeah. My man's always keeping me up top. Way to go, Nathan.
But yeah, Dallas was impressive. Anyone that goes up against John and can contain, like, I feel like that's a huge win. Just that containment on John's top roll, like crazy. I also feel like, you know, in Ray's match with Auden, you know, when Ray pulls, I always feel like he does some research first. So I don't know if he wasn't ready for Auden's hit or what it was, but yeah, it was a nice battle between the two of them.
What about Sister Sarah Latona? Did you watch her match?
I did. You know what? I really enjoyed that match. Like, I love a good battle. That's arm wrestling to me. I love when matches are not. I'm happy for my matches that they were 4-0 and 3-0. Like, that makes me super proud. However, I love when they are close matches. That means that the promoter did their job properly and matched up people who are similar skill levels or talents. So I feel like he did a really good job there in terms of their pulling, because, you know, it was super impressive to watch Jessie. I don't know either of these females. Like, I know who they are, but I've never met them. So I feel like Jessie to come back was super impressive, because you could see it in her face. Like, she was just like, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do here. Like, there's nothing I can do, kind of thing. So I was super proud to watch her come back. She didn't win, but I was super proud with her adjustments and just super impressive. to dominate those next 2 rounds and then Sarah to take it. Like that was probably for me one of the best matches that happened.
You know, I got a question, and do you think a lot of athletes put pressure on themselves in these super matches, and then when things don't go well, they just like cave in, things like that nature? Do you witness that? Have you seen that? Have you done that? I mean, I'm just trying to pick your brain here for a second when it comes to that question.
Yes, like I've done that to myself. Like I know, especially like with my left hand, I've done that to myself a lot. Like if if it wasn't my day, or if there's so much going on around me, like when I don't shut myself off from the world, I definitely notice a difference in my demeanor, in my, I don't want to say my ego, but like my mental state of like how I'm pulling. I forget how to arm wrestle almost sometimes. If I take a loss in a super match.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of sucks. I feel like people do that even in a tournament sometimes too, because especially if it's like a double elimination, because you only get 2 losses in a tournament. So if you lose once, then you're like, oh shit, like, like I don't know how this person pulls. Like I feel like you just work yourself up so much that your nervous system doesn't have enough time to come back down.
But here's the thing though, if it's best of 5, best of 7, whatever the case may be, here's the thing. Just because you lose round 1 doesn't mean it's over. So now you just have to go back and go, okay, that didn't work. And this is on the athlete, but when I say this, coming into matches like that, you got to go, okay, here's my bag of tricks. I'm going to use this first throw at him and see what happens. If that doesn't work, okay, I got something else I'm going to throw it at him. So you got to do that because, and this is, and I tell people, normally, sometimes it doesn't work, but normally when a person is a one-trick pony that doesn't bode well for a super match, you can probably get away with that in a tournament because all you got to do is hit that bullseye one time, match is over. Thank you. Now you're getting ready. But someone who stops that, then you got to go, okay, now I got to go against them again. So now they know you, and you got to go, okay, what can I do possibly to change things up? Do you agree or disagree?
No, I 1000% agree. Like I feel like that can go both ways too. For example, like my match with Danielle, she did get a pin on me. I rushed the pin. I know this.
Right.
I thought I had an opportunity. I thought I had a lane. It wasn't there quite yet. I rushed it. And when I went to my corner people, I was like, I rushed the pin. I should have got my shoulder behind it. I didn't let it get down on me. Like I didn't let it bring me down because I was able to put myself in that mindset. And I feel like if you have a good corner man telling you that and being your head, essentially being your brain, because you don't have time to think in those moments.
Correct.
I feel like your corner, if you have a great corner man, it doesn't matter. I feel like they can tell you what to do as long as you're hearing them and as long as they stay focused on that. I felt like, I don't even know. I know I heard it in the crowd for my match with Nadia because Alex top roll was in her corner and I heard someone scream, Alex, give Nadia better advice. Because like he's so quiet. Like he's such a good human being. Like he's so quiet though. And it was just a funny joke, I hope someone said, but you can hear, like, obviously we don't get to hear the commentating until we watch it back, but you can hear the commentating saying, oh, she's going to set up differently. She's going to set up differently. And for me, I knew she would try to set up differently. I went in knowing, okay, if I win the first round, she's going to try something different. So you have to shut that down. As soon as you know that they're like, I feel like people need to be in that mindset, not to be a one-trick pony. You have to have the plan A, the plan B, the plan C, and then you're all out fight at the end if you have nothing left.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally get that. That happened to me over the weekend. In my match number 3, I tried to clamp down and go into a hook, and it just, I zigged and my opponent Lewis zagged. Didn't work. I'm like going, fuck it. He just timed it perfectly, and I just couldn't get a bite. I'm thinking, all right. Threw it back there, went a different route, match 4, got the win. We're all good. So, yeah, you're going to have to do stuff like that, So I get that. Now let's pivot again. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you mind?
No.
Okay. What is this weekend? What is this Saturday?
East versus West.
Okay. So, one of my good friends, once again, Jocelyn. Awesome. She has a huge match with Anna Gronlund. What are your thoughts?
I don't choose female matches. I love them both. I haven't met Anna before. But you know what? I speak the world of Jocelyn. Like Jocelyn, I feel like she wanted to jump across the table at the event when I beat Nadia. Like she was so proud of me. Even before the event, like she knew I was locked away in my room. She offered to come and keep me company, help me meditate, like all of these things, like give her all the props and all the land. Like I adore her. I love that she speaks her mind and no one holds her back. She doesn't care what people think. It's very much like myself. But you know what? So like my money's obviously got to be with Canadian, like Jocelyn all the way. I feel like Anna has a lot of experience.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I watched her at Worlds, she also made a lot of mistakes.
Right.
That were kind of like, in my opinion, and it could have been just her mindset really at that day, because I don't like to talk badly, but I feel like they were amateur mistakes that shouldn't have really happened. So I feel like she has one lane and one lane only, and I feel like Jocelyn's more of a multipolar.
Yeah, hey, just say it with your chest, because look, I told Jocelyn she's probably gonna either slap me or kick me in my shin when she sees me, but I stand by this. I told her point blank, I said, you know what? The one thing you cannot do is get into it with the refs. You can't do that, because then that way that deters you from the task at hand, whether they're screwing you over, which, she had a completely legit gripe on that, dumping your hand like that. But still, you can't, be so pissed off to where all of a sudden now you lost all your marbles and now you can't focus. But I don't think that'll be an issue this time around, because Nathan will be in her corner. And so, Nathan's always that calming person on the shoulder going, hey, you need to relax. Okay, we got this. And I try to sit there and tell people, because they're doing something different this time. They're going to have, 4 matches on the pre-show. So that'll be free, I would imagine, on the East vs. West YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then after that, then the pay-per-view will kick in with the main event matches. So it's kind of different, which I think is kind of cool in a way, because what better way to promote that than have some prelim matches, and then in between rounds or matches you can just keep plugging that away, get the pay-per-view, that kind of stuff. But I did tell Jocelyn that. Now whether she agrees with me, I don't know, but that's just as a fan of hers and just kind of taking a step back and watching what I saw in her last 2 matches. She needs to just really focus on that. Now, I've told people, I said, look, we're talking 2 ladies who went to WAF Worlds this past fall, okay? And both of them podium in their respective weight classes. So how would you not think this is, main event? And that's how I saw it. I know it's a free match, and I get that, but if you really want to hype something up, you can hype that up. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. Again, so while we're speaking on the WAF, right? When are we going to see Miss Courtney Huycke on the WAF World stage?
Hopefully next year. I don't really know what's in the cards for me, but I feel like, because there's a lot of people reaching out to me and there's a lot of things going through my head, but I feel like next year might be it. I believe they're in India. And like Propanja, I believe, has done some stuff or something. I don't really know. I don't follow the politics of it all, but I don't like to. I like to stay out of it. But I feel like that might be my starting spot at WAF. There are a few competitors there that I really want to go against and challenge. But again, that being said, I mean, I do hold this belt, and maybe they want to challenge me to come after this belt, right? So who knows?
Ooh, that sounded kind of spicy. Oh, okay. And oh God, I didn't even bring this up. 2027. Where's WAF Worlds? Say it.
Ottawa.
Say it. There it is.
Yeah.
Can you imagine your
So
own
definitely go to
backyard?
that one, obviously.
Still, your own backyard, and you go to WAF Worlds and you walk up there. Hey man, that's Courtney. Can I get a selfie? And you're still doing that, but now game face is on because it's like going, okay, this is the real deal. So, and I know that's like what 2 years away, give or take, so we don't want to go that far, but still, that opportunity is like right there. And, you can't help but to sit there and go, that could be interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, is it next year that North America WAF is here too?
In Canada in 2027 now, but
or
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, the World's the North America Championships will be in Ottawa, March. What, the first weekend of March? It's the same weekend as the Arnold.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same weekend, eh? So there is a possibility that I want to get into the Arnolds too.
Ooh.
So, I don't know. There's so much, right? Like so much going on, but it's a great opportunity.
Ooh, yeah. There's a lot you want to. What are your goals? Let's talk about that, because we know you got the belts coming. At one point, your shoulders are going to be so sore from carrying belts all over the place at some point. But what other goals do you have? And I can't remember what you said the last time you were on the show. So, you said at one point, maybe a world title, that kind of stuff. But, you got so much being thrown at you. You got to kind of take a step back, kind of digest what's going on before you start making moves. So, but do you see yourself out of Arnold or something like that?
Yes, I'd love to be at an Arnold's. I feel like there are competitors there that I'd love to challenge. So, challenge myself with even. So, like Lee Aaron. I'd love to go against Nadia on a regular table. Like there's lots of Merlene. Like I'd love to be a part of that as well. And maybe I want to pull up a class. Obviously I don't know how the Arnolds work. Like I know you have to qualify and all that stuff, but I understand the process, but that doesn't mean that I can't, I know I want to go to Michigan State. I want a gorilla.
Who doesn't want a gorilla? Man, I need to get one, by the way, but go ahead. I got you.
Yeah, I want that. I want to go to the Winter Blast. Like I'd love to have a dragon.
I got two of them. They're back there.
I want a bison. I do want an Ottawa Open bison. So I do. And next year for sure, like I definitely am going to nationals because I don't have a national title yet. It just wasn't in the car. It was in Regina this year. I had no interest in going to Saskatchewan, like no interest. So I know down east it will be like a big turnout. Down east is beautiful. I've never been. Matt's family's from down there, so I know that we're going to travel down there. And that's my goal for next year, is to get a national title for sure.
I'm with you on that one because I think, and this, I'm only speaking for me on this, that when you grab that national or world or whatnot and things of that nature, does it cure the appetite? Does it solidify what you want to do in the sport? I mean, so much has changed over, the years and stuff. One national may not mean as much as it used to be, or one world may not mean as much as it used to be, or whatever the case may be. But, at the end of the day, I had a talk with myself. And I said, okay, do my peers understand what I've done in the sport? And you could probably say the same thing now. Do you got the respect of your peers? Like, oh yeah, don't fuck with Courtney. She's pretty badass, that kind of stuff. I think for me, that kind of goes a long way, even if you don't have the hardware, but you still want the hardware. I mean, I'm sorry, but when you have a bison or a dragon or a gorilla, you can pretty much say, oh yeah, good stuff right there. Good stuff right there.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, I know that there are pullers out there that just want to be the most dressed. I'm not that person. I have been to tournaments where I had planned on pulling and then not pulled because I was reffing and felt like someone else who was a newcomer deserved it more. Like, I remember being at a tournament and one of the girls in the class, she's 13. I think she's 14 now, but she was 13 at the time. And she was going up against Kathy Facey. And so I didn't enter the weight class. I thought that was great. I know that I think she did win one of the hands. And I'm like, I want her to have her moment. Like, she deserves it. I don't want to take that from her just to get a medal. Right. And I pulled with her, like, I pull with her regularly. So I knew that I could beat her. And so I didn't want to take that moment away from her. I don't feel like for me, that's what I want to be seen as in the sport. Like, I want to selectively pick my matches or tournaments that I enter to compete with people who are going to challenge me, because that's why I'm in this sport, is to challenge myself.
Right. No, I agree. That's awesome that, I commend you for doing that, because, you can be that person going, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. But it's like, you know what? Let them have their time. I'm gonna take a step back, because, you can just as easy go in there, probably walk through everybody, walk out first place. But you know what, though? Hey, go ahead and I'm going to do something else on a different scale. So, let them have their fun and stuff. So, yeah, I commend you for doing that, because there are some people out there who, they don't do that. And not that they have to, but they just don't do that. And so, by you doing that, and for me, it shows maturity. I'm like, that's pretty badass that you can sit there and do that. I commend you for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So. And I just feel like going out there, and if I went to every single local tournament that I have, and just like, I did go to a lot of, like, I'm only 2 years in the sports. So yes, I've been to a lot of local tournaments, and like, knock on wood, I haven't brought home a bronze medal. I'm not being cocky, but I don't mean to be cocky, but how can I not be? But
just the way you said that, I haven't brought home a bronze medal. Like, wow.
But I mean, I have dominated, like, the local tournaments, and I don't want it to be. I want to build the females in the sport. I want to build them up. I want more female pullers, and I'm not going to get them out there pulling if they're too scared or don't think they're good enough to go against me. So I want them to be like, okay, she's there. Maybe she's my corner man. Like, maybe she after pulls with me and I learned some stuff from her. Like, I don't want them to not come because I'm there. So I don't want to go and just show up to get a medal. Like, I want people to be encouraged to come and pull and all that. So I think that's where my mindset is in that. Like, I want to build the sport for females rather than just take home all these medals and nobody else gets a chance.
No, I get that. And I think the mind frame needs to change also, because the fact that you also got to realize that, okay, well, you could learn a lot. If they hold Courtney at this, upper echelon, and all of a sudden it's like going, okay, she's here. Instead of being scared, it's like, okay, well, if I hold you in high regard there and I'm on the table, I want to know for myself, what does it feel like to be on that level? That's just how my brain goes. Everybody's not the same, but then you got some people who sit there and duck and dodge and, all that kind of stuff because they don't want to take a loss, and guys do the same thing. It's not just the ladies. The guys do the same thing. There are guys who are notorious for that stuff, and it just blows my mind, but that's neither here nor there. But, I think, sometimes my best advice I got in the sport came from my wife. And she said, babe, you can't go to every tournament, And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't go to every tournament, So, you have to be picky, You have to, I guess, once you get to a certain stage in your career, you have to be real selective in what you do. So I get that, I really do. I really do. One last question before we, go ahead. Sorry.
I think you also have to be selective in kind of who you trust too.
Yes.
Because, you know, I've been bit. Like I'm very outgoing. I am very social, and I'm a free spirit. So like I will talk to anyone. I will talk to myself. Like as long as I don't answer, then I'm fine. But I feel like I'll talk to anyone. And I just, you know, there's been a couple people reach out to me saying like, you know, how do you deal with your success in terms of it being this short of a period of time and people talking behind your back? And I feel like one of the best things that someone has ever told me is if you don't have haters, then like you're not that great in terms, like in a sense, right? Like if you have haters, then know you're doing well, I guess is how they put it.
But as long as they don't morph into weirdos, that's when it's like, okay, you need to chill.
Yeah, and I think I'm regarding more like, especially like in the female side of things, like, you know, other females, you know, trash talking or whatever, you know, I can understand your opponent trash talking up to the event, like all of that makes sense. But like people saying things behind your back and stuff like that, like, and I'm like I don't care what people say about me, but I want to promote the fact that we're all in this together. We're all trying to build the sport, especially as females. And I want these young females to come into this sport feeling comfortable and welcomed, regardless of their success or not. And I don't want them to shy away just because they're doing well.
Right. Well, one last question. So no Lucky's in the chat. Some way, somehow, I do think that we'll see you at a ladies round robin in the States. I know they got one in Canada too. So I think Gina Stuckless is doing one. So I'm telling you right now, we will at some point we're going to see your name there, and that's when it's like, okay, and people are going to start doing this, going, okay, now is my shot to see what I can do against a high caliber puller such as yourself. Agree or disagree?
I agree. I also actually, I believe it was you and Jocelyn were talking about the round robin maybe. And I know that the idea of having like a female team was kind of thrown out there. Danielle and I obviously haven't chatted about it, like me leading a team and Danielle leading a team. But I thought
it was a good idea.
I also love that idea. So I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm also saying like, hey, I love the idea and I'm super creative that way. So you never know. That might be in the works.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a thought that was, you know, bouncing around my dome as I was talking. I'm thinking that'd be kind of badass, you know, but I don't know. I mean, I don't want to start, you know, pushing stuff off on people. And it was just a thought, maybe not. I don't know. That might be a good idea. It might be a bad idea. I don't know. But it was just something I thought about as we were talking. So I thought I'd throw it out there. But anyway, so Miss Courtney, I want to thank you very much for joining me on the show again, you know, and how can we watch the Our Melter event coming up? You said January 10th?
January 10th, yes. Well, it doesn't get streamed until after. So they make all their edits to their videos and then they stream it after. I know we had talked about hopefully maybe doing a live, but I don't know where we're at with that. Maybe, you never know. If it does become a live, I'll definitely be sure to promote it. But we'll see.
Let us know if there's flyers to be had. That way I can share the hell out of that flyer and, you know, try to pump that thing up. So do you know who your opponent is?
Yeah. So on my right, I'm going against, her name's Jana Leland. She's competed on a MAC table before. Jana's always in my weight class. We've trained together since I started basically. So that's my right hand in my weight class. And then I have on my left hand, Ursula Askey, who just won a world title well, not the world title, but like she came third on her left at World. So that might be a challenge for me on my left. And then right after, because it's the next match right after will be Danica both arms, Danica Levine.
Man, you got your work cut out for you there, sister. So good luck with that. Make sure your training goes well. Make sure we get no freak injuries and stuff. And my fingers are crossed. I wish you well. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Take care.